Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to do the hamstrings. We're going to stretch out our hamstrings. Hamstrings are really beneficial for lower back pain. They're really beneficial to help with posture. What they are is they're hip extenders. So they balance the hip flexors. We flex our hips when we sit. We extend our hips when we stand. So because the hip flexors and the hip extenders are antagonistic muscles, we do need to stretch one before we stretch the other. We need to stretch the flexors and then we'll get into the hamstrings. Another interesting thing about the hamstrings is they tend to release better and more easily if we stretch the fronts of the thighs, the outsides of the thighs, and the glute muscles, and then the inner thighs. And then once everything possible on the front has been loosened, then the hamstrings will release more effectively. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe the body is just really intent on holding our posture. I don't know. You might want a towel today. We are going to have one knee on the ground, so you could use that folded up as a little bit of a cushion. You also could use it rolled up as a little bit of a boost if your inner thighs are really tight. Okay, so we're going to start with warm-up. So, nice tabletop shape. Inhale, sink your belly button to the ground. And exhale, round your spine up to the ceiling. Just going back and forth with the rhythm of your own breath. As you inhale, you look forward and upwards. As you exhale, bring your gaze towards your thighs or your belly button. And come back to your nice tabletop shape. Bump your hips to one side. And then the other. Again, back and forth at your own rhythm. And rest at the center. And go ahead and come into a nice plank. Looking at your fingertips. Inhale, downward facing dog. The hips come up and back. You're welcome to adjust your hands or your feet. And then from here, pedal it out. Gently bend one knee. And then the other. Back and forth. Bringing movement into the stretch. And then inhale, look to your hands. Go ahead and walk your feet up between your hands. Ragdoll. Knees are generously bent. Armpits and knees are trying to come together. And you have the option to interlace your fingers behind your head. And gently pull skull to the ground. Breathing is nice and easy.
My nose is whistling.
Whistling noses are still breathing. It's good. Go ahead and bring your hands to the ground. Inhale, roll up to your mountain pose. And exhale, chair on your way to your ragdoll. Inhale, mountain pose. Think of lifting those lowest ab muscles. And exhale, chair on your way down. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chair on your way down. mountain pose. Exhale, keep the hips lifted as you open the chest to the ceiling. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, standing forward fold. Knees are mostly straight. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tuck and curl. Round your spine into a turtle shell. Plant your hands to the ground, hop or step your feet back to your plank. Trying so hard to not overlap you that I'm off my mat. Inhale, downward dog.
You know, you could be in front.
I don't want to be in front. I don't look like a normal person when I stretch, you know?
Oh, I know.
Go ahead and bring the focus, just bring your attention to how you feel in your shoulders. Inhale, up to your hands, hop or step your feet into your ragdoll. Option to clasp your elbows and gently sway side to side. Keeping the belly soft. Rest in the middle. Release your hands to the ground. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chair to your ragdoll. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chair to ragdoll. Inhale, mountain pose. Make sure you find that neutral alignment in your spine and your pelvis. Exhale, chair to your ragdoll. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chest expansion. Lift with a slight arch at the top. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen from your top to your tail. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tuck and curl. Notice if it feels different this time.
Where would it feel different?
It depends. I often feel a difference towards my sacrum. Those muscles stretch. If you've been holding a lot of tension in your upper back, you might start to notice a release up towards your neck. Sometimes you can feel some tension release in your mid-back, as if like the muscles were starting at like the spine is the top of your mountain range and the water is rolling down your sides. It really is. It's just dependent on where you might be tight. Go ahead and plant your hands, hop or step your feet back to a plank. Inhale, downward dog. This time notice where your tailbone is. Instead of pointing into the wall behind you, rotate your pelvis on top of your femur bones and get your tailbone to the sky. You're welcome.
That's my favorite.
I know, it's everybody's favorite. There's no need to be looking at your hands. You can just let your head hang heavy and look to your knees. If you have a lot of tightness in the backs of your legs, you can gently bend your knees. Inhale, up to your hands, hop or step, ragdoll.
For this sequence, you want most of the weight in your heels, so you're welcome to check and see if you can lift your toes off the ground. Inhale, rolling up to your mountain pose. The weight is balanced between the front and the back of the foot. Exhale, chair. The weight comes back into the heels on your way down. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale on your way down. Inhale up. I feel like my hair looks like the lion's mane. Exhale down.
Roar.
Well, I usually pull it in a ponytail. Inhale up. This is my real life, y'all. Exhale, lift your heart to the sky. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tuck and curl. Maybe it feels different this time, maybe it doesn't. The heels can be on the ground if that's comfortable for you, or they can release. We don't want to worry about getting them super high off the ground. It's not a foot stretch. It's just a chance to get the spine super round, because we don't often do this. And release and flip your hair. Like an 80s movie or something. Ponytails. Ponytails are useful. All right, so we're going to start with a high lunge. I'm always excited. All right, so you're going to start standing up.
I just sat down.
Near, I guess.
All right.
So feet are parallel, about hip width apart. You're going to step forward with your right leg, back heels. I'm sorry, that was my left leg. Doesn't really matter. Step forward with the leg. Keep the back leg parallel.
I got it right that time.
You're so good. And let the back heel release so that you can bend the front knee to 90 degrees. We're going to be in a high lunge. Tail is down, tummy is up. We're looking for the stretch along the front of the back leg. It helps. When people are here, if you tell them to push their tail down, it helps. You act like I haven't done this before.
No, I'm just teasing you.
Oh, well, you know.
Not acting like you haven't done it before.
I'm acting like that's never happened before. Good, and from here we're going to come down into a low lunge. So keep this knee at a 90-degree bend. Knee stays above the ankles. And release your toes behind you. One hand is on each side of that foot. Think of pulling the front hip back, pressing the back hip forward. And again, we're trying to focus on the front of that extended leg. Good, we're gonna lower the back knee to the ground. If you would like some extra cushioning, this is a great time to bring your towel underneath your knee. I brought you a towel in case you want it.
Oh, my mat is thicker than yours.
It's true, it so is. So the leg that's behind, whether it's your right or your left, take the same arm up and around as you release your toes up. And the goal is to catch your foot. That's fine, just reach for it and you're good to go. Here, you stay there. Let me help you.
That really hurts my knee.
Okay, so that's why I said you could put something under it.
Well, except, whatever.
It's okay, lift your knee up. What part of your knee hurts, my friend?
It's the part that's on the floor.
Well, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So now lift your foot off the ground. Yep. And grab. Oh, can you grab it there?
I can grab it.
Okay, so it was in.
I just can't get the. I can't reach around like a freak and just kind of do it.
Okay, well, you don't have to reach around like a freak. All right, go ahead and release. That's enough. The nice people at home are dying. Either they're laughing at us or their knees are like ready to bleed.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Well, that was fun.
release that. We're going to come into a nice butterfly stretch. Sitting nice and tall.
All right, so maybe the people at home can't reach around like a.
See, this is why I have real people stretch with me.
Yeah.
And I put you in front. So if you're having trouble sitting up nice and high and your body insists on rounding, take a folded up towel or blanket and boost yourself up. So here we are. Man, you're flexible that direction.
This is the one that I can do.
You're so good at it. So you're going to use your muscles to pull the knees to the ground and release. And knees to the ground. Have you always been good at this?
Yeah.
And release. My dad is good at this too. Knees to the ground, and my sister. What can I say? Knees to the ground. Release. Knees to the ground. Release. Good. Now sitting up nice and tall because I got a little slouchy there. This is not my gifted stretch. And think up and over, flat spine, looking towards something about a foot in front of you. And step nice and tall. And now you're going to round. You're going to roll down your spine like a raindrop and then bring your heavy forehead forward. And sit up. Good. So you're going to take the leg that was stretching back. So for Robert's left leg, I did my right. I'm going to start calling it my left just so I don't confuse the daylight side of people. Take that left leg, the one that was stretching behind you, and hug it across. Keeping your left booty on the ground. This is your pirate booty. You got to sink it to the bottom of the ocean. That's a great tall posture. Well done.
Well, I got there.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Breathing is always nice and easy. If you find you're having trouble breathing, you've probably pushed into your stretch too far. You just need to back off a little. And from here, fold forward. Keep your belly soft.
My butt's supposed to be on the floor, right?
It is. If you find that your butt is lifting off, press your hands to the ground and push back to the ground. Push your butt back to the ground. And release. Good. So we'll come into a fire log. The bottom leg comes out a little bit. The top leg stacks on top of it. So these bones here are like little fires, not the fires, they're the logs in your one fire. You also have a space here for like a nice water bottle in case your fire gets out of control. I teach a lot of kids, and they all know how big a hydro flask is.
Oh, wow.
So I know, right? And I know what they sound like when the kids kick them over. Big old loud clang really disrupts like the chill vibe I sometimes try to create. So you're gonna inhale and twist towards your top leg. Just spiral to where it's comfortable. Make sure it's a lifted spiral, not a smooshy one.
Enjoy looking at the backs of our heads.
Hey, I have a braid. There's a thing to look at. And release back to the center. Inhale nice and tall and exhale, forward fold. Again, you want the booty on the ground. We're going to come into a cow face, stack the knees on top of each other.
Isn't that what we were doing earlier?
Well, it's really similar, yeah. So when we start here and we fold forward, the foot tends to be out. And if we start it in, it tends to stay in. That's why I do both of them. Can you,
right.
Yeah, can you cross your bottom knee over a little bit more? Take your foot away from your body just a little bit so you can sit. Yeah.
Except I'm not sitting.
Okay, so do what you need to do to feel stable. That's more of the goal, but you can do what you need to do to feel stable.
I'm stable either way. The question is...
Then stay that way, please.
Okay.
Thank you. So you're going to take your left hand, same hand as your top leg, plant it to the ground, and inhale up and over. Can you get your hand more forward so it's not behind you? There you go. Well done.
Yep.
This is an intense stretch.
Moving my hand didn't change anything.
And sit up. It kept your hips on top of your pelvis, which will give you a better stretch here. With your weight back, it's going to stretch the front, and the goal there is to stretch like the side of the glute up through the side of the waist. That's the way. Yeah. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold / think about how much you hate me for asking for this. I know, it takes a while to become your favorite.
This is killing my hip.
Describe the killing.
Well, it feels like the top of my leg is just like twisting.
It is. So is this a bone? Is this a pain or a stretch? What is it?
It feels like it might be a pain. It might, well, it's a tension.
Okay. And release back up because that's long enough. Is that the hip you have bursitis in? Okay. Okay. That's a really advanced stretch. So in the future, if you want to skip that one, that's okay. Or if you want to just focus on like melting into where the tension is, each time you exhale, that's another approach you could take. I am not a doctor. I'm not going to advise bursitis. Alrighty. We're going to lay down on our backs. You can be flat on your back, or you can bend your knees, whichever is more comfortable for you. You also are welcome to slip a rolled up towel or something in the small of your back. So taking that left leg, now notice where your hips are. We're going to try to keep both sides of your sacrum on the ground in the back there. And we're going to bring the left leg towards your chest. If this is not a range of motion that feels good for you, you can loop a towel behind your hamstrings and use the towel to pull you in. And then from here you have the option, you don't have to take it, but the option to straighten your knee and release. Just another way. Make sure that you are parallel for this. The hamstring is a muscle that stretches far more efficiently in parallel.
Parallel to what?
Parallel as opposed to turned out or turned in.
Oh, I see.
I love the difference in our approach to the word parallel. I'm always talking about skeletal alignment and you're always thinking, I don't know, like an engineer? I don't know. Go ahead and sit up. So that left leg is going to come straight out in front of you. Your right foot is going to come to the side of your leg. You can have it by your calf or above the knee. Don't put it right on the knee because then you might be putting a little pressure into the knee joint, and the knee joint just, I mean, it's really not built for that kind of tension. So, sitting up nice and tall. If tall is difficult, this is another good place to put that folded up towel to give you a little bit of lift. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, start to stretch forward. Bring both of your hands to the pinky edge side of your leg. So the left
leg gets extended.
Yes, your left leg. So you're going to inhale and externally rotate that leg. Try to bring your pinky toe to the ground. Palm it out of your way. And exhale, bring it to parallel. Inhale, externally rotate. Back to parallel.
By parallel, you mean perpendicular to the floor?
I mean parallel alignment. So if you were standing up, your toes would be facing forward. They wouldn't turn out and they wouldn't turn in.
Okay.
And then go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Make sure you haven't rolled open. That left hip is pulling back, right hip is pressing forward. And then exhale, forward fold.
still pulling back in the left hip. It's going to want to roll forward. Breathing. Soft belly. And release. And then from here, you're just gonna, you really are gonna open. You're gonna roll open now, so it's almost like a straddle, but one leg is bent. Inhale nice and tall, and exhale, forward fold from here. Again, keep the booty on the ground. So if you need to take your hands and push your booty back on the ground, that's fine. And sit up. Okay, you're halfway. Let's stand up and do the other leg. You look so excited.
Thrilled.
There you go. All right, so we're standing nice and tall. We're gonna take the left leg forward, right leg back this time, into a high lunge. Front hip pulls back. Good. Back knee can be straight or bent. It's not a calf stretch. We don't want the focus in your calf. We want the focus in the front of your right leg. Tail is down, tummy is up. It's very important.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, so are you. Try to keep the shoulders straight forward. And come down into a low lunge, one hand on each side of that front foot. Left hip presses back, right hip pulls forward. Focus is on the front of your extended leg. And release your knee to the ground. You're welcome to grab a towel if there's pressure underneath your knee. And then we're going to take the same arm as leg up and around and catch. Oh, where am I? There I am. Catch that foot. You also can do it with the opposite arm as leg. It does change the stretch a little bit. Both are valid. Pull that back hip forward. So your right hip is pressing forward. And release. Good. Come into your butterfly stretch, which really is, it stretches both sides at the same time, but we're going to do it just for the sake of consistency. Sitting up nice and tall, you might be a little bit looser this time. Inhale, press down. Exhale, release. That's a fantastic exhale.
I'm just so bored.
You're a good sport.
I'm not the bored. Bodies just do that sometimes, you know?
They do. They yawn. I tend to rock back and forth when I'm in this stretch because it takes me several tries to get my weight aligned in a place that's comfortable. Inhale nice and tall and exhale forward. The length along the back of your neck. And sit up nice and tall. And then exhale, rolling down with that round spine. And come back up. Good. All right, so you're gonna take the right leg, hug it in. Oh.
option to do this with the leg extended. Some people just insist on doing it that way. I'm not quite sure why. If you know why you like it that way, leave a comment below. And exhale, forward fold. We'll all learn together. Good. Sit up, fire log. Bottom leg comes out a little bit. Foot on knee, knee on foot. Rock back and forth a little bit if you need to. Sometimes your cute little like skin just gets stuck on the ground in weird places and you gotta release it. Inhale as you spiral towards that top leg. It's a gentle spiral. It's not a crank around. I'm not trying to look like an owl.
Who?
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that dad joke there. And come back to the center. And exhale by laughing forward. Our house is so quiet when the dogs and the kids are in the basement. And up. Good. All right, cow face. So we start by stacking the knees. If you find this is easy, I don't know why you're on a Stretching for Real People show, but welcome. The next variation is to bring the feet straight out from the knees. I can.
That makes it harder?
Yeah.
Well, I'm screwed then. Oh, okay.
It makes it harder for most people, but if your body is different, then go with where you can breathe. You look like you're having trouble breathing and sitting up.
I can breathe. I'm having trouble sitting up because I'm trying to keep my butt on the floor, so I feel like I have to lean this way.
Well, don't.
Okay.
There, that's your neutral alignment.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, now you can lean because we're gonna plant that right hand in the ground and stretch to the side.
You have ballerina hands.
No, I don't. I should tuck my thumb. And up. And pull forward. Ballerina hands are supposed to look like they are relaxed.
I know.
If you find that the heel of your foot is keeping your butt off the ground, wiggle it out to the side a little bit.
Like that.
Yes. Always sink your booty to the bottom of the ocean. And sit up. Good. And lie down on your back. Again, you can bend your knees. You can place something between the small of your back and the floor. It depends on what's good for you. You okay there?
Yep.
All right.
Just feeling it.
You're feeling lying on the ground?
I'm feeling my body.
Good job. You're very embodied. I don't know what to say. I don't even want to say that. Go ahead and hug your right knee towards your chest. Don't let it roll out towards your shoulder or your armpit. You want to try to keep the nose and the knee in about the same line. And then from here you have the option to introduce that range of motion by straightening the knee and releasing. Make sure you're keeping it really, really parallel. Your toes are coming towards your eyebrows. I still feel like I'm doing this out of order.
Well, don't tell anybody. They won't know.
Through the magic of some video editing, I'm not going to go check my notes. So for you, this will be the first time, but for poor Robin, this is multiple time. He's a good sport. Right leg is in front of you. Left knee is to the side. Inhale tall, make sure the hips are straight forward. Like if your pelvis was full of lemonade, don't know why I'm thinking this, but if it were, you don't want to like spill it all out the side. You know how like you don't let a 3-year-old carry a full pitcher of lemonade because it's gonna list?
Or hold their own plate full of food.
Exactly, it's the same thing. All right, I'm just 3 on the inside. Fingers to the pinky edge side of your leg. And inhale, toes to the ground. Can you tell that he had to do this more than once? I'm losing him.
And all of these stories are just fantastic.
This is how I teach.
You know, when you're 3 and you have
everybody knows what it's like to be 3.
It's just highly amusing.
Or to like be babysitting a 3-year-old and be like, oh, this is not gonna end well. And sit back up. Double check that we're not 3. If you feel like you're pulling a little bit weird on your skin, just rock back and forth. And exhale forward. I'm sorry that I broke your brain a little bit with stretching. I didn't mean to.
I'll survive. Somehow. I'll find a way.
And sit up. All right, so Rob is just going to take his left knee and just swoop open. I'm going to turn around so that you don't have to try to hear me backwards. Up nice and tall, and exhale forward. You survived.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rob survived. He got up, he walked away, all is well. I didn't break him. I know you were worried. So hopefully your hamstrings feel much looser now. So I'm really glad you joined me. Go ahead and click subscribe and you can find out about all my fun videos. And I do take requests. So if there's something you'd like to do, be sure that you leave a comment below and I'll see you next time.